if you think you're clever enough. We'll see you next time on The Chase. Goodbye. Potato.
This is 7 News with Angela Cox.
Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock and these are the stories making headlines right now. A firefighting aircraft has crashed in the Snowy Mountains region with 3 people on board. We're standing by to take you to a live update from Rural Fire Service headquarters. Homes come under threat in Sydney's northwest as searing temperatures refuel the bushfire crisis, and we're live at the scene of an unfolding emergency in Canberra. Also ahead, touching down from ground zero of the deadly coronavirus, biosecurity teams greeting the plane as it arrives in Sydney. And farewelling a Monty Python legend, co-creator Terry Jones, remembered as one of the funniest writers of his generation. But first, we begin with an unfolding emergency southwest of Canberra. A firefighting aircraft has crashed with 3 people on board. The C-134 tanker was looking for fires in the New South Wales Snowy Mountains when it ran into trouble. The Rural Fire Service lost communication with the aircraft and launched a search. It's believed the aircraft has disintegrated with only the tail remaining. Let's go to Cameron Price at New South Wales Rural Fire Service headquarters, where Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons will shortly deliver a briefing on the crash. Cam, what do we know about this aircraft?
Yeah, Angie, that's the terrible news that has come through in just the past few minutes. Reports that the wreckage of the C-130, affectionately known amongst the RFS as Thor, has been found in difficult terrain in the past half an hour, spotted from the air, we understand from military aircraft, and also located on the ground. You mentioned just the tail remains. We are told that this aircraft has broken up on impact, which is terrible news at this stage for the, we understand, 3 people on board the aircraft at the time. This flight took off from Richmond RAF base around about midday today, was heading towards some of these dangerous fires that are burning to the southeast of the state, southeast of Canberra, and contact with radar was lost at 8 minutes past 1. Now, the information we are getting from flight tracking radar is that both the altitude and the aircraft speed dropped in the moments before that radar contact was lost, and there are unconfirmed reports from witnesses on the ground. We understand to be RFS fire crews that this plane was on fire as it came down. Now, initial reports are that 3 people are on board. This is an aircraft that is leased from an American, a Canadian company, Coulson. We understand all of the pilots that are contracted to that company are Canadians and Americans, so no Australians as part of the flight crew, but whether there were any RFS spotters on board, we are not sure at this stage. Now, right now, the Premier, the Police Minister and fire chiefs are in a briefing about this crash. We are expecting to hear from them in around about half an hour's time. Angie? OK,
Cameron Price at New South Wales RFS headquarters, thank you. Now, reporter Olivia Leeming is on her way to the scene. Olivia, it's gone down in a very secluded area.
Yeah, that's right, Angie, and gaining access to this site is proving incredibly difficult. The visibility in this area is terrible. We understand you almost cannot see 300 metres in front. So effectively, the air search has been suspended for now, except for one military aircraft that has been doing the spotting. Our own Channel 7 helicopter has also been grounded because of this massive smoke plume over Peakview, leading to this very poor visibility. We understand that only the plane tail has been sighted. That has been, the registration has been confirmed of that plane, and there is debris scattered over a wide area. We understand initial calls from firefighters who saw this plane erupt into a ball of flames. There were witnesses reporting that they heard a rumble when it went down. The initial emergency call as well, we understand, came in over RFS channels, that there wasn't in fact time, it seems, for that call to come from the plane itself. As Cameron mentioned, 3 people we understand to be on board, but as I said, only access that we understand is possible at this time is on the ground, crews coming from Cooma. We do expect the smoke in the area to linger for many hours yet to come, Ange.
OK, Olivia Leeming, thank you. There is also a bushfire emergency unfolding in Canberra and surrounding suburbs. Let's go live now to Taylor Aiken. Taylor, what is the situation there now?
Good afternoon, and well, this situation deteriorated quite quickly a short time ago when the Callaroo Road and the Pialago Avenue fires actually merged, and that moved towards the Baird Industrial Estate, which we are at now, and it has actually impacted a recycling plant just behind me. Now that is pushing thick black smoke towards Queanbeyan, sparking concerns about air quality because that smoke is believed to be hazardous. Now residents in Baird and Oaks Estate are being advised to seek shelter. If they are in the area, they're being advised to not move but to prepare. If they're not in the area, we're being advised to not enter the area as it is simply just too dangerous. Now, the Chief of the Defence Force has held a press conference in Canberra a short time ago, and he says they're ready to assist should the call be made.
I have people who are both involved as persons who need to be moved from areas and office buildings that are potentially in danger. Our aircraft are available wherever that need might be required.
Now, the main issue here is the incredibly strong wind. We've seen wind gusts of up to 90 kilometres an hour. That has actually closed Canberra Airport with planes in and out being cancelled. The main issue here, though, is many businesses are being prepared in case that fire begins to impact. We have a wood chip mill just behind us, but Ange, with the wind still being incredibly erratic, there's a long afternoon yet to come.
Yes, indeed. OK, thank you. Taylor Aiken in Canberra. And a firefighter has been rushed to hospital after a bushfire scare close to homes in Sydney's northwest. Our reporter Natasha Squarey will have the latest on that ahead in this bulletin. To other news now, and health authorities say there are still no confirmed cases of coronavirus in Australia, but admit that may change. That's because some of the people on board one of the last flights out of Wuhan, which touched down in Sydney this morning, could have the potentially deadly virus and not know it. Sean Berry joins us now for more on this. Sean, health authorities greeted the plane. What were they telling those on board?
And passengers were asked a few simple questions like, how do you feel, by a team of public health officers, including doctors, who were dispatched to greet the plane. They also observed them for signs of the coronavirus that include flu-like symptoms. Most passengers on board had spent the flight to Sydney wearing protective masks, and it was one of the last flights out of the Chinese city before it was put in lockdown. Public transport there has now been shut down, effectively sealing in the city's 11 million residents. The death toll from the virus has climbed to 17 as it spread across China and into 4 neighbouring countries. But good news from the China Eastern flight to Sydney this morning. There were no suspect cases found among the passengers.
We have the capability to rapidly assess and diagnose and treat any potential cases, but at this stage we do not have any confirmed cases.
However, there is currently one case under investigation, a person who had returned to Australia from Wuhan with symptoms who is now in quarantine in an undisclosed Sydney hospital. One issue for health officials here is people may take days to show symptoms and the virus could potentially slip past checks at ports and airports.
OK, thanks so much, Sean. An emergency is underway on Tasmania's west coast right now, where a mining worker is trapped underground. Let's go live now to 7 News reporter Letitia Wallace. Letitia, what's the latest update from search crews?
It's a very intense atmosphere here at the moment, and crews have unfortunately just returned from the surface of the mine and have failed to find any signs of life. The man is believed to be located in the lower level of the mine. The area saw a section of the earth collapse about a 20-minute descent from the surface. It was around 4 this morning when his colleagues raised the alarm as he was unaccounted for at the end of his shift. Police, including the bomb response group, have been using a thermal imaging drone and a robotic camera here to try and identify just where he is and the condition he's in. The footage from the scene will be reviewed, but so far he has not been located.
It's an operational mine, so as you can imagine, the environment is extremely dark, extremely dangerous, and that's why we rely on our experts to lead us down to where we need to be.
We're all obviously very distressed, and our main focus is trying to reach the worker.
The contractor says the man is from Queenstown and has been employed for around 2 years. So now, for the tight community here on Tasmania's west coast, they watch and wait while the operation unfolds.
OK, thank you, Letitia. Meteorologist David Brown joins us now. Brownie, sizzling heat in eastern New South Wales today.
Yes, indeed, Ange, and the elements are whipping up very dangerous fire weather. To the south, though, it's a different story. In fact, we've got cooler west to southwesterly winds pushing across Victoria. Check out the scattered shower activity extending all the way through into southern parts of New South Wales. Severe thunderstorms, potentially capable of whipping up winds in excess of 90 kilometres per hour, affecting northern parts of the state at the moment. And a short time ago, have a look at this. Dust from outback New South Wales just simply filled the Megalong Valley in the Blue Mountains. Now, a series of troughs continue to cross the southeast corner of the nation. This cooler air that's been affecting Victoria will eventually spill into Sydney during the wee hours of tomorrow morning. We're expecting more showers and storms right across the top end tomorrow through vast areas of Queensland as well. And look at the storms and showery weather affecting northern parts of New South Wales tomorrow. But right now, current conditions, sizzling heat in Sydney. It's 41 degrees. On the other side of that change in Melbourne, look at that. It's only 21 degrees. And of course, I'll have the local forecast in detail, top of the hour. Ange?
OK, thanks so much, Brownie. Still to come in 7's afternoon news, we're in New York as the long-awaited trial of Harvey Weinstein gets underway. And Meghan's dad weighs back in, giving his side of the story and an explosive 90-minute interview.
A new wardrobe at a fraction of the cost. The 5 designer secrets, getting you looking great for less. New style secrets on Sunrise tomorrow.
Oh, you'll need these for your geography project.
Dad, I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. School's changed, but the smarter place to shop for back to school is still Officeworks.
Experience Viking, the thinking person's cruise. Explore the world in comfort on our award-winning ships with no kids and no casinos, more time in port, included shore excursions, resident historians and all-inclusive value makes Viking the discerning traveller's cruise line.
Viking's Explorer sale now on. Save up to $4,000 per couple. Call 138 747 or see your Viking travel agent.
Shut up and take my money.
When it comes to family, what's normal? Families come in all shapes and sizes, but it's mealtimes that bring us together. Ah, McCain, you've done it again.
Yes, things have never been so sweet. It's why we're getting under your feet.
Mortein PowerGuard crawling spray kills cockroaches 2 times faster than any other brand, so the show won't go on.
Smart, more safe, Mortein.
Harvey Norman Mates Rates. Ripper deals for 5 days only plus 60 months interest free. 15% off Microsoft Surface Pro 7 Pro X Laptop 3 and Book 2. Samsung 65-inch 4K Smart TV. Only $995. This Kelvinator family size fridge just $788. Up to 50% off lounge, dining, home office and discontinued outdoor furniture. Up to 50% off Australian-made mattresses and ensembles. Up to 30% off carpet and flooring. Hurry in for many more Ripper deals. Mates Rates end Monday at Harvey Norman.
Go! Regular air fresheners don't get rid of the bacteria that cause odours, so the smells keep coming back. Switch to Glen 20. It kills odour-causing bacteria wherever they are for a lasting freshness. Glen 20.
Welcome back, Steve. Here's your new phone.
Thank you.
Just sign here.
See that? That's the feeling of being supported. Get that feeling. Click, call, or come in store.
Want to know a simple way to compare thousands of offers that could save you money?
Find a better deal for you. Type finder.com.au.
Finder saves me time with free comparisons in over 100 categories.
Find a better deal for you. Type finder.com.au.
That's why over 2 million Aussies use Finder every month.
Find a better deal for you. Type finder.com.au.
My WW, your new customised weight loss program. Just answer a few questions and get matched to your plan.
I lost weight my way and kept it off with My WW.
See how new My WW can make losing weight easier for you.
What a season it's shaping up to be.
Get behind our Aussies in the Santos Tour Down Under tomorrow on 7/2 and streaming for free on 7+.
Disgraced Hollywood heavyweight Harvey Weinstein is finally having his day in court. On day one of his trial, the prosecutor detailed shocking accounts of Weinstein's alleged attacks on 6 women who will testify against him. She told jurors Weinstein was not a titan in Hollywood, he was a rapist who groomed vulnerable women. Paul Caddack reports from New York.
Good afternoon. The prosecution was scathing as it opened its case against Harvey Weinstein here today, saying he was not just a titan in Hollywood, he was a rapist, sexually assaulting women and using the entertainment industry to ensure their silence. The prosecutor describing to the jury and a courtroom packed to overflowing in graphic detail the sexual assaults he's accused of committing, saying Harvey Weinstein knew he was preying on the naive and inexperienced, offering them opportunities to work with him, and after the assaults left them feeling small and insignificant, no match for the Hollywood power broker. 67-year-old Weinstein sat quietly throughout the day in court, shrugging his shoulders and shaking his head at times. He's denied the allegations, pleading not guilty. His defence attorney called the prosecution's opening statement a mirage and not evidence, insisting the relationships Weinstein had were consensual and that there were emails and texts from some of the accusers to Weinstein after the alleged assaults that showed there was a friendly, even a loving relationship.
They laid out emails that were sent by some of the alleged witnesses on the theory that somehow continued communication after what is alleged to be a rape, forced oral copulation, sexual assault must mean that it couldn't have happened.
Harvey Weinstein could face up to life in jail if convicted of the most serious charge, predatory sexual assault. His trial is expected to last until mid-March, and it continues here tomorrow. From New York, it's back to you.
Authorities in the United States are hunting a gunman who opened fire in downtown Seattle. 1 person has died and at least 7 others have been injured, including a 9-year-old boy. People are being told to stay away from the area. There is a large police presence as they hunt for the gunman. A monster wave has smashed into buildings and homes in Spain as Storm Gloria wreaks havoc in the region. The wave, estimated at 15 metres high, took many by surprise. The huge waves dumped sea foam through seaside streets. So far, 8 people have died as a result of Gloria. Prince Harry and wife Meghan have stepped away from the royal family, but it seems they can't escape the Markle family. A 90-minute interview with Meghan's father Thomas has been rushed to air. In it, he speaks of being abandoned and says he will probably never see his daughter again. Amelia Brace has more from Vancouver Island.
Well, as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex try to lay low here on Vancouver Island, Meghan Markle's father is making sure that they stay in the headlines. He's sat down for an explosive tell-all interview, accusing his daughter of cheapening the royal family.
I want Harry and Meghan to see this video and know that this is not fair.
Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, speaking out before his daughter and her husband, Prince Harry, decided to step away from royal duties. The hurt of a fractured family laid bare in an interview aired on British television.
I miss Meghan. I miss the way she was. I don't know who she is now.
Thomas Markle also missed the royal wedding and says he was going to attend until he had a heart attack. He proudly displays royal mementos brought back by friends. He has plenty of pictures of Meghan as a baby, but he has not yet seen his grandson Archie and only heard of his birth through the media.
You tell people, you know, you heard it on the radio. This is my daughter. Talking about my grandchild. She's going to have a grandchild this month. And I'm not hearing about it on the phone. I'm hearing about it on the radio.
The documentary was rushed to air as interest peaks in Harry and Meghan following their decision to move to Canada in search of a more normal private life. That goal not helped by Meghan's dad and his tell-all interview. Thomas Markle says he no longer speaks to his daughter or son-in-law and suspects that the next time he sees them will be when they, quote, are lowering him into the ground.
Stay with us. We're standing by for an RFS update on a firefighting tanker which has come down in New South Wales. Plus, up next, the potentially life-saving alerts to warn beachgoers about sharks, jellyfish and ribs. And in sport with Jim Wilson, the Melbourne Stars stumble in the charge to the Big Bash finals.
After 40 years of bringing us the news, Kay McGrath is signing off from the news desk. Join us for a special edition of 7 News, Sunday at 6.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online.
Okay, done.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
That feeling. That's what inspired Endless Data. Get data that never ends for only $40 a month on our 12-month SIM-only Plus plan. Get that feeling. Click, call or come in store.
Domino's Everyday Value Pizzas are now back to $5. Your favourite value pizzas, all with fresh dough, sauce made from vine-ripened tomatoes and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. Now back to $5 at Domino's.
With a pet, your home doesn't always smell fresh. Airwick plug-ins have fragrance infused with essential oils. You can dial them up or down for a subtle, long-lasting freshness in your home. Airwick plug-ins.
Rooftop solar rebates reduced January 1. But if you think you missed lowest prices, think again. For a limited time, Arise Solar, one of Australia's largest solar retailers, is rolling back prices to last year's maximum rebates. This month only, Arise Solar is holding over a limited quantity of Tier 1 6.6 kilowatt systems with 30-year panel performance warranty at last year's price, just $36.81. Rebate rollback prices only till January 31 or while stocks last. Call 1-800-ARISE Solar.
Ever notice nowadays that everything seems to be moving way too fast? But you can't achieve great things if you're always in a hurry. So whether you're grilling it, baking it or smoking it, cook low and slow. Char Griller. Available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Ooh, nature lovers. This'll be easy. Let's get 'em!
With 98% natural ingredients, Mortein Nature Guard's all-day protection is tough on bugs, not on people.
Australia's biggest school shoe sale is now on. Buy one pair and get your second pair half price. We've got all the big brands like Clarks, Rock, Colorado, Lynx and more. Hurry into Williams and Mathers, #1 for school shoes.
Everyone loves the flavour and aroma of fresh herbs and spices. But it's often hard to know just when you'll need them. Which is why we lightly dry and cold blend our herbs and spices at Gourmet Garden, so they stay fresh for 4 weeks. Perfect for whenever you need them. Gourmet Garden stays fresh for longer.
Beachgoers in New South Wales will soon be able to access real-time updates on threats like sharks, jellyfish and ribs. Free Wi-Fi has been rolled out at 4 New South Wales beaches, Byron Bay, Bronte, North Cronulla and North Wollongong. It will allow life-saving alerts to be sent out about the potential dangers in the area. The alerts will be translated into 6 languages.
Getting the message in a language they can understand and in a way they can understand is the key.
The Wi-Fi signal will be available within the red and yellow flags. Time for sport now with Jim Wilson, and some star power returns in the Big Bash.
Yeah, some big ins, Ange. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, everyone. Steve Smith returns to the Sydney Sixers tonight in their clash with the star-studded Brisbane Heat at the Gabba. Big Bash leaders, the Melbourne Stars, crashed to their second straight defeat last night, going down to the Strikers at the Adelaide Oval. Chasing 163, the Stars were on the back foot from the outset when Marcus Stoinis holed out for just 5.
Salt, can he get back and take a great catch? Oh, Phil Salt, you ripper.
Glenn Maxwell was caught by Travis Head on 19. Peter Siddle finished with figures of 4 for 33 as the Strikers ran out 11-run winners. That win lifts the Strikers up to second on the ladder ahead of the Sydney Sixers on net run rate. The top 5 teams qualify for the final series. Tonight, Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne return as the Brisbane Heat host the Sydney Sixers at the Gabba. It's live and free across the screens of 7. Aussie veteran John Millman has set up a clash with the great Roger Federer at the Australian Open. Millman booked his spot in the third round with a straight sets victory over 31st seed Hubert Hurkacz last night. Federer pulled off the shot of the tournament thus far in his straight sets victory over Filip Krajinovic.
That's
He made it.
Just shake hands.
Well, that is just out of this world.
Extraordinary. Now, Serena Williams is through to the third round of the women's singles after easing past Tamara Zidansek, and Aussie world number 1 Ash Barty was back on court this afternoon, combining with German Julia Gerges for a win in the women's doubles. Stage 3 of the Tour Down Under was won for the climbers, and there aren't many in the world who do it better than Richie Port. As rivals fell by the wayside in the final 5 kilometres, Port came into his own.
Bottom to top, a sustained effort. He's had a look around, he's got the gap, he likes what he sees. This will give him an iron grip on the ochre jersey.
Port went on to take the stage and the overall lead by 6 seconds. The Tour Down Under is live and free on 7 until Sunday. Manchester United was booed off the pitch by their home fans after losing to Burnley at Old Trafford for the first time in 58 years. United's 8th loss of a dismal Premier League campaign was sealed by Jay Rodriguez.
Rodriguez! Oh! Screamer! Wow, he flashed that in!
A leg injury to star striker Jamie Vardy didn't stop Leicester from thumping West Ham 4-1, and Tottenham posted its first league win of the year, beating Norwich City 2-1. The Olyroos Tokyo hopes have come down to an all-or-nothing clash against Uzbekistan. The Aussies missed their first chance to qualify overnight, losing 2-0 against South Korea in the semi-finals of the Under-23 Asian Championships. They now need to beat Uzbekistan in the third-place playoff.
It's now all about what's in front of us, and that's Uzbekistan, and we will show the Aussie spirit of fighting.
That game is on Saturday evening. Before heading to Tokyo, the Kookaburras and Hockeyroos plan to put the rest of the world on notice by winning the International Pro League.
Tokyo is the pinnacle of our sport, really, and that's what people have been working towards for the last 4 years. So people are going to be driven.
Pro League's going to be really crucial in our preparation for the upcoming Olympics. Every match we need to be getting better and better.
The Aussie men and women open their campaigns against Belgium in Sydney on Saturday. So the Kookaburras, our men's team, ranked number 1 in the world right now. The Hockeyroos ranked number 2. Really good signs for Tokyo 2020.
That's what we'd like to hear. Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
This afternoon's top stories are next, including more on the air tanker disaster in New South Wales. We'll get a live update from Rural Fire Service headquarters. Plus, homes come under threat as a bushfire emergency flares in Sydney. Our reporter is on the scene. Plus, the dirty brown rain that's causing a major mess in Melbourne. What's behind it? And later in the bulletin, we'll have tributes for Python legend Terry Jones.
Looking for the best pet stylist in the whole country. Release the hounds! Groomers, you have 135 minutes to go. Wait, no, that's in doggies. You've got only 15 minutes. Music sensation, Sia! Ed Sheeran. Beautiful Lion. This is the start of something big. Who's perfect?
You've got a credit card that earns rewards points as you spend?
Yeah, you need one too.
With so many comparisons in one place, finding a credit card with better rewards is simple.
Find a better deal for you.
for you.
Regular air fresheners don't get rid of the bacteria that cause odours, so the smells keep coming back. Switch to Glen 20. It kills odour-causing bacteria wherever they are for a lasting freshness. Glen 20.
Installation's simple. You just plug in.
And play.
Powerboard. Play by your own rules.
Ooh, nature lovers. This'll be easy. Let's get 'em!
With 98% natural ingredients, Mortein Nature Guard's all-day protection is tough on bugs, not on people.
Domino's war on delivery charges just got bigger because our $15 delivered deal now includes our vegan and plant-based pizzas. Any large pizza, just $15 delivered.
Returning now to the search for a firefighting aircraft which is missing and feared crash near firegrounds in southern New South Wales. Cameron Price is at the Rural Fire Service headquarters. Cam, the Commissioner and Premier are about to deliver a briefing.
Yeah, Angie, we're expecting that briefing any minute now. The Premier has spent the past half an hour hearing from fire chiefs about this terrible incident this afternoon. We understand in the past hour or so the wreckage of that C-130 has been located by search crews, first from the air. We understand an RAAF aircraft was involved in that search, and then ground crews have managed to get to the crash site. We are told only the tail section of that aircraft is intact, and it appears that the plane has broken up on impact. Now, we are waiting for confirmation, but early indications are that there were 3 people on board that aircraft. It took off around about midday from Richmond RAF base. We understand that this was not a water bombing mission, but rather a fire spotting mission. The plane was at around about 5,000 feet when it lost contact with radar. That flight radar indicates that the plane lost speed and altitude at the point of losing contact with radar, and there are unconfirmed witness reports. We understand from fire crews on the ground that that plane was on fire when it hit the ground. Let's now take you to the Premier.
Good afternoon, everybody. Unfortunately, as we've been saying all along, the fire season is far from over, and today, again, we've seen tragic consequences where 3 people have lost their lives after a large air tanker crashed in the Snowy Mountains, Monero region. And our thoughts and prayers and heartfelt condolences go to their families. It was a company contracted by the RFS to undertake that vital work. And again, our deepest condolences to those families who've been impacted. It demonstrates the dangerous work currently being undertaken, and it also demonstrates the conditions that our firefighters are working under. There are in excess of 70 aircraft that have been used today alone. And today is a stark and horrible reminder of the dangerous conditions that our volunteers, our emergency services personnel across a number of agencies undertake on a daily basis. And again, it allows us to consider just the circumstances people are facing every day. We've got more than 1,700 volunteers and personnel in the field today. There are 5 fires, 1 in the ACT and 4 in New South Wales, currently at emergency warning level. However, we're confident that weather conditions are easing over the next few hours, and hopefully we won't see any further concern beyond the fire complexes that are currently at emergency level already. But again, today demonstrates the fire season is far from over, and today is a reminder of how every single person who is defending life and property is at risk because of the dangerous circumstances. And the firefighting community around New South Wales, Australia and the world is very tight-knit, and I know many people have been impacted by the tragic news this afternoon, and our thoughts are not just with the families and friends and loved ones, but also for anybody who feels impacted by what's unfolded this afternoon. And we can't thank enough people who continue, notwithstanding these conditions, to put their own safety at risk to protect the lives and property of others. The main fire activities is again, unfortunately, on the far south coast of New South Wales, impacting on a number of coastal towns. And again, towns that have already been impacted in recent weeks are facing again that threat this afternoon, although we're hoping that milder weather conditions and the easing of wind conditions will allow us to better fight those fires currently. Commissioner.
Thank you, Premier. As indicated, we've still got more than 80 fires burning around New South Wales, and half of those are not contained. We've seen fires get to emergency warning level today, up to 5 at any given time. We've now backed down to 4 at the emergency warning level, and as the Premier indicated, there's also that fire in the ACT, which has been elevated to emergency warning alert level as well throughout the day, and we've got, under normal cross-border assistance, teams helping our colleagues in the ACT as they routinely do for us through at any given fire season. The 4 fires that we've got burning at emergency warning level include 2 down the south coast that have been impacting west of areas like Eurobodalla and Bodalla itself, and then also places like Bermagui and Moruya down the south coast. We also got 2 new fires today to the north and the northeast of Bombala, which remain at emergency warning alert level at the moment. Throughout the day, the warnings and the advice to communities being impacted by these fires has varied depending on the particular circumstances, but generally speaking, the advice at the moment across those emergency warning fire grounds is to seek shelter as fire approaches. It is too dangerous to leave, and crews and aircraft and machinery are actively deployed at the moment in attempting to save and protect as much as we can in the path of these fires. As would be expected, particularly the stuff that's closer to the coast has impacted some of the arterial roads. We've seen heavy impact on the likes of the Araluen Road, the Princes Highway, and then further south down around Bombala we've seen impacts there as well. So a very difficult afternoon for firefighters. We saw the fire in Western Sydney get to emergency warning out near Box Hill. That's settled down now, and crews are getting on top of that and gaining the upper hand.
There we have the Premier and the Fire Commissioner confirming 3 people have lost their lives after a large tanker came down fire spotting near firegrounds in southern New South Wales. No word on the identity of those people on board, but it was a company contracted by the RFS to carry out that fire spotting work. We will have more details in 6 p.m. news. Fire crews have battled to gain the upper hand on an out-of-control blaze threatening homes in Sydney's northwest. Residents were caught unaware rushing home to join firefighters to protect their properties. Natasha Squarey reports.
It was a hairy afternoon for residents here in Box Hill in Sydney's northwest when a bushfire came dangerously close to their homes around midday. The fire was upgraded to emergency level fairly quickly, and anxious residents were hosing down around their properties as the flames moved towards them.
Pretty bad fire, windy. So yeah, hopefully it goes away and we can contain it so the house doesn't get burnt down.
The bushfire soon ran out of fuel and crews managed to get the upper hand, and the situation was downgraded to watch and act. Resident Bill Sultana is a RFS volunteer and has been battling bushfires all summer. Today, his home was under threat.
I've been out doing this sort of stuff all summer, and this is the first time I've had it the other way around.
Bill's daughter-in-law is also a volunteer firefighter. She's been with the RFS for 6 months. The 23-year-old was today overcome by heat and smoke while protecting her own home. She was taken to hospital. Her colleagues this afternoon are patrolling the area and mopping up. It's not yet clear what started this bushfire.
The Red Cross has moved to quash criticism about its handling of the distribution of funds raised for bushfire relief. It says they are working to speed up relief efforts, but do admit that some of the cash raised may go to help people hit in disasters down the track. Peter Fegan has more.
Well, after sustained questions and criticism, the Red Cross came out today defending its handling of the distribution of charity money raised for bushfire victims, stressing they are trying to get the cash out fast, but also conceding that the money raised may well go to cyclone and flood work. The major charities, including St Vincent de Paul and the Salvation Army, came in for heated criticism, led by senior state government ministers with complaints the money simply wasn't getting out fast enough. Well, today the Prime Minister has joined the chorus of calls for quicker action.
It is very important that the funds that have been raised by charitable groups through the generosity of Australians obviously get to people as quickly as it possibly can.
This morning the Red Cross revealed that out of the $115 million raised, just $7 million had been distributed. They also revealed it's currently taking around 5 to 6 days to pay out each grant, saying the process has been slowed down by people who are trying to scam or defraud the system.
We're now paying $1 million a day. We're keen to continue to speed that up. We know that the assistance is needed now. $5 million of it is supporting our work on the ground, and that is all bushfire related at the moment. But if we have floods tomorrow, those teams will be there to support communities.
Those are words that will upset some on the fireground who argue that the donations were made for bushfire victims alone. The organisation also admits that they have carved aside $30 million for the initial emergency fund, saving a lot for the years ahead, saying victims will need the money into the future, not just today.
I was shocked to hear that some organisations are saying they're holding on to money for future disasters. Well, that's not what was in the hearts of those that gave.
The St Vincent de Paul Society also released a statement this afternoon saying that every dollar raised for the Vinnie's bushfire appeal will be used to support the people impacted by fires. Vinnie's will not and has never kept funds for disaster appeals for any other work or cause.
Melbourne is known for its wild weather and has copped its fair share this summer. Now the city is experiencing a messy new problem: dirty brown rain. Blake Johnson has more on the massive clean-up now underway.
The Yarra River isn't known for its sparkling clear qualities, but even this today has us here in Melbourne doing a bit of a double take. The choc milk colour of the Yarra is due to a dust storm, dust that came from as far away as New South Wales and South Australia, washed out of the sky by rain last night. Melbourne had some 30 millimetres of rain overnight and today. It's full of nutrients from topsoil, and it meant cars across Melbourne were caked in red dust when people woke this morning, although rain during today helped wash most of that away. Melbourne is having its wettest January in 24 years. Swimming pools weren't as easy to clean as the cars. Arthur Athanasius swam in his pool last night, but woke to it changing to this colour.
Walked out and lo and behold, it was all black.
And a wave park that usually looks like this now has just about the biggest clean-up job of all. Ball kids at the Australian Open were redeployed as cleaners, wiping brown muck from outside courts. It meant matches there were delayed by up to 3 hours. The Environment Protection Authority says all 36 of Melbourne's beaches should be avoided today because of the runoff.
The warnings are based on bacterial levels.
But the EPA says pollution is not caused by the dust, that's just rain washing into the bay. So the dust itself looks worse than it is. We're told it'll clear over the next day and a half. Melbourne isn't due any more rain until at least next week.
Next in 7's afternoon news, arriving back after Mission Impossible, we'll hear from the Australian vet who made history with a solo expedition in Antarctica. And tops of 41 in Sydney today. Brownie has the national forecast soon.
Our Test superstars now head-to-head in the Big Bash. Tonight, Marnus here to bash Brisbane back into the finals. How total is that? But with Steve Smith supercharging Sydney. This is going to bring the roof down. All-Star Big Bash, tonight live on 7 Mate.
Experience Viking, the thinking person's cruise. Explore the world in comfort on our award-winning ships with no kids and no casinos, more time in port, included shore excursions, resident historians, and all-inclusive value makes Viking the discerning traveller's cruise line.
Viking's Explorer sale now on. Save up to $4,000 per couple.
Call 138 747 or see your Viking travel agent.
Dear mind, you're so good at caring for everyone else, but caring for you is important too. So take time to lose yourself in a book. And in the moment, learn something new. But above all, be kind to yourself. All my love, me.
Create a healthier relationship with your mind. Learn more at qld.gov.au/mental wellbeing. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
Rooftop solar rebates reduced January 1. But if you think you missed lowest prices, think again. For a limited time, Arise Solar, one of Australia's largest solar retailers, is rolling back prices to last year's maximum rebates. This month only, Arise Solar is holding over a limited quantity of Tier 1 6.6 kilowatt systems with 30-year panel performance warranty at last year's price, just $36.81. Rebate rollback prices only till January 31 or while stocks last. Call 1-800-ARISE Solar.
Can you bring the glasses? Oh, it's annoying. They're still wet.
To help avoid that, just add Finish Rinse Aid. It speeds up drying for drier and shinier dishes. Try Finish Rinse Aid today.
Your spare pair. Your glare pair. The flying through the air pair. We could all use a second pair. At Specsavers, get 2 designer pairs, no gap, from the $199 single vision range when you're with selected health funds.
However you take your business card, make the most of it with more shapes, stocks and finishes from Vistaprint. Now's the time to try 250 standard business cards from $10 at vistaprint.com.au. Own the now with Vistaprint.
Throughout time, humankind has chased perfection.
Well, they broke the mold when they made me.
Great minds rising through acts of genius.
He's unbelievable.
Who is next to challenge the record books?
The best of the best.
The Chase, next on 7.
A humble Gold Coast vet is back home after achieving what many believed was mission impossible in Antarctica. Jeff Wilson completed the longest solo unsupported journey across the icy continent.
Fresh from the deep freeze of Antarctica, Jeff Wilson receives a much warmer welcome home. The 49-year-old explorer had just completed the longest polar journey ever undertaken, solo and unsupported. Family, friends, even his dog greeted him at Gold Coast Airport.
Overwhelming.
Many had followed his pioneering trek online as he used a kite and skis to travel more than 5,300 kilometres in extreme conditions.
I couldn't even begin to imagine what he's been through over there, so it's been a fantastic feat.
I'm very happy that he's home. It was a long time, but it was really good that he's back.
Jeff spent 58 days on the ice, alone, facing blizzards and a wind chill of minus 47 degrees.
It was a lot tougher than I expected, to be honest. The first 30 days were just brutal.
It was gruelling on his body.
I've lost 17 kilos, I've lost sensation in my feet and hands, and definitely need to regenerate.
He raised more than $250,000 to help breast cancer patients.
So proud of him, and he's just shown that Australian polar history can be made.
A journey Jeff will never forget. Dion Savage, 7 News.
What an effort. Now, checking finance with Stephen Daglian at ComSec. Stephen, what was behind the market's big fall today?
Good afternoon, Angela. Nothing as dramatic as that certainly happened on our market, but it still ended up being the worst day of the year for our market so far. So the ASX 200 down by about 0.6%. It had a lot to do with an update on jobs growth this morning, which was actually better than anticipated, generally speaking. So we had about 3 times as many positions created in December than anticipated, even though they were all part-time. We had the unemployment rate falling to the best levels in 10 months, down at 5.1%. This basically has reduced the chances of a rate cut next month. So that's why the market fell today. Overall, though, keep in mind that just yesterday, the Aussie market hit its 7th fresh record high of 2020 so far. So we've had a remarkable start to the year, which is somewhat unsustainable. But there were losses everywhere today. One of the worst was construction group CIMIC, which fell 20%. It's no longer going to do business in the Middle East, and that's going to cost close to $2 billion. The Aussie dollar, 68.6 US.
OK, Stephen Daglian from ComSec, thanks so much. Now let's take a closer look at what's making news where you are.
In 7 News at 6, 3 crew on board as a large Hercules water bomber crashes in the Snowy Mountains. Debris found the search for a Brisbane couple whose plane ditched into Moreton Bay. Travel chaos as authorities act on China's deadly new virus. Queensland's schools of the future, the big changes when they open next week. And bring on the Olympics, Australia's best surfers ready to make history. All the details coming up in 7 News tonight, and stay with us, we'll have more updates soon.
7 News with Sharon Gadella and Max Futcher. The most awarded, the most trusted. 7 News, Queensland's #1, the one to watch in 2020.
Good afternoon, it's Ben in the Expedia traffic chopper. Well, things aren't looking too express around the city this afternoon here on the Rosyth Expressway, and it's a simple story too for Coronation Drive. It's building in and out of the city for the commute home. Expedia has everything you need to book your next holiday with select flight and hotel packages under $699. T's and C's apply. Visit expedia.com.au/package deals. I'll see you tomorrow.
Monty Python co-creator Terry Jones is being remembered as one of the funniest writers of his generation after dying at the age of 77. He played a variety of roles with the comedic group as well as directing several of their films.
He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy.
From Terry Jones, the words that would endlessly be quoted by fans all over the world. From Life of Brian to The Meaning of Life. Both films he directed and starred in with the Monty Python team, creating iconic characters along the way.
Good afternoon, sir, and how are we today? Better.
Before the films, there was Monty Python's Flying Circus, hailed as groundbreaking and hugely influential. Shortly after the Pythons reunited for a stage show after 3 decades, Terry Jones was diagnosed with a rare form of dementia, affecting his ability to speak.
Terry was at the centre of an awful lot of wonderful work. He created things, serious books, children's books, marvellous comedy that would not have happened if Terry hadn't been around, you know.
In 2016, just weeks after his diagnosis of dementia had been made public, Terry Jones received a BAFTA Lifetime Achievement Award after a remarkable 6 decades on screen and stage.
He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy.
But oh so good at making us laugh. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Next in 7's afternoon news, Brownie will be back with a closer look at the national weather forecast.
Sunday, Feb 2, it's here.
I'm a professional poker player.
He's got all the ingredients to win MKR. But there's one thing he didn't count on.
Jack and Shaz, we've missed you.
Can the serious game players outwit the straight-talking mums?
I'm going to do the best presentation and the best techniques.
I was going to put all the clothes in here and absolutely shake the bejesus out of it.
You've definitely shown us your cards tonight.
All new My Kitchen Rules starts Sunday, Feb 2 on 7.
Domino's Everyday Value Pizzas are now back to $5. Your favourite value pizzas, all with fresh dough, sauce made from vine-ripened tomatoes and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. Now back to $5 at Domino's.
I'm feeling good. Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint. I'm feeling good. Now's the time to try 250 standard business cards from $10. I'm feeling good. Own the now with Vistaprint.
Yes, things have never been so sweet. It's why we're getting under your feet.
Mortein PowerGuard crawling spray kills cockroaches 2 times faster than any other brand, so the show won't go on.
Smart, more safe, Mortein.
Your spare pair. Your glare pair. The flying through the air pair. We could all use a second pair. At Specsavers, get 2 designer pairs, no gap, from the $199 single vision range when you're with selected health funds.
Hey, check this. Powerball has jackpotted to $20 million. Sound good? Grab a ticket today.
It's the perfect time of year to relax and reward yourself.
Upgrade to multi-award-winning Jasper, an icon of Australian design. On sale now at the King Living Annual Summer Sale.
Save up to 15% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz comprehensive car insurance policy online.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Airwick Essential Mist transforms fragrance infused with essential oils into mist. Take in jasmine. Let go of stress. Experience the power of Airwick Essential Mist.
When you need money for the unexpected, time can seem against you. Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble small cash loan up to $5,000 within 60 minutes once confirmed. Visit nimble.com.au.
Throughout time, humankind has chased perfection.
Well, they broke the mold when they made me.
Great minds rising through acts of genius.
He's unbelievable.
Who is next to challenge the record books?
The best of the best.
The Chase, next on 7.
David is back with the latest forecast. Brownie, what's the latest timing of the cool change in Sydney?
Yes, hello again, Ange. Looks like Sydney siders are in for a really hot night. Yes, the latest timing has that change through the city by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, yes, it will be a stinker. At the moment, it's sitting on 40 degrees in the city. To the south, different story. Melbourne, 21 degrees. In Brisbane, clear skies and 30 degrees. As we go to the satellite, this area here is whipping up some large thunderstorms. In fact, we've had reported the squalls of around 107 kilometres per hour. It's all associated with this change, which is heading towards our part of the world. Thankfully, it will bring some cooler air our way. But as I mentioned, you have to wait until the sun comes up tomorrow morning before you will feel that cooler air. Some showers and storms are also likely associated with that change. But for most of northern New South Wales tomorrow and eastern Queensland, right through the top end, a mixture of showers and storms. Yes, the wet season is underway across the tropical north. In Sydney tomorrow, much cooler day than today. Top around 27 degrees. Some thundery showers, mainly in the morning. For Melbourne, fine, mild, around 24 degrees. 24 also expected in Adelaide. For Brisbane, well, a few passing showers at around 32 degrees. A little later in that forecast period. In Sydney, some clearing showers are expected on Saturday. 27 degrees. Just a shower or two for Brisbane and 31. That's the latest weather. More details, 6 o'clock, Ange.
OK, thank you, Brownie. Returning briefly to this afternoon's breaking news, with a firefighting aircraft has crashed southeast of Canberra. The New South Wales Premier confirmed a short time ago that 3 people have been killed. And that is 7's 4 p.m. news for this Thursday. Stay with us. I'm Angela Cox. We'll leave you now with pictures just in of a dust storm in Tamworth. I hope you have a great night.